so we can film?
Yeah, so we can film.
Okay, thank you for taking one for the team.
Cemetery. Forest Home Cemetery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin today. This was the oldest cemetery in Milwaukee. Public cemetery, I should say. 1850 was its first burial. The city had purchased 72 acres of rolling, lush, densely wooded land. I guess that's the best way to put it. Back in the Victorian era, cemeteries became more than just cemeteries where you go and you bury your dead. They became like gardens, works of art. You'd spend the day here. A lot of people would picnic back in the day. I think I showed you that, right? Do you remember? Remember we tried to go a couple times. But
yeah.
Yeah, so you'd spend the day walking around, looking at all the beautiful stuff. There's a lot of statues here too, which we should show them too.
Yes.
As of today, it is now 200 acres of land. There's governors buried here. There's famous people. Oh, we've got the beer barons too, which I can't wait to show you. And there's somebody that's like very near and dear to my heart here. Never met the man, but again, very near and dear. And he makes up one half of Harley Davidson. Co-founder William S. Davidson is buried here. We're going to go look for him too. And I'll give you a little bit of background on him. I think Celeste is dreading the day that I actually get a bike. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. But yeah, this is Forest Home. It's beautiful. I love being here. These trees, I mean, they're huge. And I don't know what else to say other than it's pretty and yeah. Hey Celeste.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
So as you saw with Morgan chasing some geese here.
Yeah, Forest Home Cemetery.
Yes, we are here at Forest Home Cemetery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beautiful place.
And the movie we have for them tonight.
Yes, we are bringing to you a very fun cemetery themed movie.
Yes.
Because that is our theme for today. It's a good
so.
theme. It's called I Bury the Living.
It is. And who is it directed by?
Albert Ban.
Okay. Right?
I just had that in my brain and then it left. I think it's Albert Ban.
Albert Ban. But the main actor though, and I do remember this one, is Richard Boone.
Yes, and it is a 1958 movie. I think it's a great movie because it's cemetery themed. It's got a great plot. There's a lot of suspense. It's atmospheric.
Oh, and I like the idea of how they mark these plots, which you'll see.
Yes, yeah,
cool.
It's a really fun themed movie, and like I said, it fit with what we're doing here today, which is giving you a tour of some of this cemetery, some of the graves of some of the interesting people that are here. There's a lot of cool Milwaukee related history around here.
And this is a true Victorian cemetery. Again, like I said earlier, in Victorian times, the culture back then, they were pretty into death. Memento moris, things like that, post-mortem photography. And so
morbid people.
Yes, morbid, which I loved, I think.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I did love all that stuff.
We fit in really well back then.
And the outfits too. I mean, you wore a morning dress for like a year.
Yeah, I think a year and a half, I wouldn't take it off. You had an intervention for me.
I did. Nobody did that for me.
See,
but
the thing is, I thought it was a morning dress, MORNING.
Yes.
So I always wore it every morning, and she's like, "Come on, Celeste."
Nope. It's MOURNIG.
Yes, morning. Not
Morning.
morning.
Yes.
Silly me.
And then remember, I got to the point though too where it was like, society standards too. They were so uppity. That's how we ended up with Alice in Wonderland, to be honest. It was, yes, it was a snub to the societal norms. But Victorians back in the day, they grappled with death in a different way than we do now, and cemeteries became gardens, living works of art, places you could spend the day at, it's awesome. That's so neat. And I wish we would have continued with that. Now it's like if you're here past a certain time, oh no, we're calling the police. Not necessarily here, but you go to a regular cemetery and
it's like just tightly packed graves. Like here, fit your dead in.
Get out.
Yeah, and it loses a lot of the beauty. This has like the rolling hills and the benches, and it's
a lot of goose poop, like a park. But
yeah, it's meant for people to hang out in.
Yes. 200 acres. You can walk it. It takes a couple hours, but hey, you got a day, and you got nothing to do, come here. For real, like, it's good.
And the trees
Good for
are
the
like
soul.
very mature,
Oh,
like
yes.
huge trees. Very
They've got
interesting
cherry trees right there that the last time I've seen ones this big, I would say are out in DC. The
Wow.
ones that we got from Japan way back in the day, you know, and those have been there since, I don't know, since we called peace. But these ones are quite big, and cherry trees, for those of you who have them, you know that they are hard to maintain and they are hard to keep alive. The first year that you plant them, it's a 40-60 chance, you know, that you're gonna have that next
Really?
season. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that weeping cherry that I had, that thing,
Yeah.
remember I planted it, it did great, it was shocked, and then we got it to come back, and then one day it just decided it was gonna curl up and die. Literally, it did, and that was quite disappointing.
My plum tree's doing well though.
That's
No
cool.
plums,
Yes, but it'll get there. That's why I said we gotta get you another plum tree, because then it'll start producing.
See,
fruit
I didn't
better.
realize that. I thought you just buy a plum tree, get plums.
You can, but it's harder to do it that way.
Do they
That's-
taste incestuous?
I don't, if they even take though too, they might get to a certain size and wilt. I don't know. See, it's been so long since I've done trees and stuff like that in orchards, but apple trees you got to have at least 2 if you want to get apples. Same thing with pears. It's just easier that way. So yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. Well,
But
we can do a whole nother show on that too.
yes,
Horticulture.
we are going to do it.
We will.
But in the meantime,
Yeah.
you guys should start watching this movie. It is wonderful. Enjoy it, please.
And check back in with us for more little interesting tidbits about this place.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the Immortal Hills.
Thank you.
So, by way of making you feel right at home, Bobby. Mr. Chairman. Come along, sir.
After you. This is your place now, you know. Of course. It isn't as if you was any stranger here, Bob.
Yes, but somehow this place all looks different to me. Like I never saw it before. Well, maybe I never had to. It's cold as an icebox in here.
Oh, that thing hasn't worked in years. Cement holds the wet, you know, makes the air a wee bit Christmassy. Won't bother you none once you get down to work.
I'm not sworn in yet.
Oh, that's only for show, sir. Now, let me see if I got the list of committee men right. First, Chairman Robert Kraft, yourself. And Mr. Honiger, Treasurer, your Uncle George, Secretary, and of course Mr. Trowbridge and Mr. Bates, making 5 in all, right?
Right.
If you can find me at any time, my dwelling straight across the boulevard, opposite the gate. Makes it nice, living so close to my work. Now, would you like to see the sights, sir? Give the roof a chance to catch the heat.
Hmm.
If you care to make a tour, it's a bit warmer outside.
That's quite a map.
Oh, yes, sir. That's a map of the entire cemetery, down to the weeest speck of dust. Here we are, and here's my shed with the row stone, and there's the gate you come in.
Certainly kept it up to date. There's a new mausoleum on there already.
Aye. Oh, yes, sir. This map's going to be a big help to you, Bobby. Suppose you got a customer and you want to know what ground we can show him. This is where the map comes in. One look and quick as a wink, you know who's where and what's what.
It's them pins that makes it so easy. The black ones stand for the ones that is already there, and the white ones for them as has made their arrangements for the future. Now, for example, here's my place. Lovely, isn't she, Bob? There. Sun in the morning, but gets those trees to give shade in the afternoon heat.
McKee, you've been on this job now 40 years, right?
Aye.
Well, I guess the committee's right. It's high time we retired you. Nothing to worry about. Full pension. You draw the same check every month.
I'm to be paid for nothing from now on.
No, you're to be paid for 40 years of devotion. And that's something. Anyone in mind to replace you?
Oh, I hadn't given it much thought, sir, but, there must be plenty of young and hard-muscled toffs would give the right teeth for my shoes. It's a lovely place to work. You're outside near Mother Air.
Well, let me know if you find somebody.
Oh, I will.
Yes, sir, that's quite a map.
Pardon me, sir. I just wanted to show you where we keep this in case of emergencies. No need to worry, though. We haven't had none yet. Oh, you expecting visitors, sir?
No, but that sounds like Stu Drexel.
Oh, aye. Drexel and Pretty Beth Ferris. Did I hear they was promised?
Looks like they're hitched.
She finally caught me, Bob.
Bethy, many happy returns of the day. Stu, that's a great place you picked for a honeymoon.
Oh, marriage has made me conservative. How about it, Mrs. D? Can I carry you over the threshold?
I still don't think it's so very funny. I think it's positively awful if you really want to know the truth.
Oh, Bethy, don't be that way.
What's the trouble?
How would you like to get a cemetery plot for a wedding gift?
Now, Bethy, you know Pop never meant it for a present. It's just a formal, legal sort of thing. You see, Dad left part of my inheritance in trust for when I got married. One of the provisions was that myself and my wife had first-class accommodations here at the Immortal Hills. Doesn't cost us a cent, but we have to buy the plots before the bank will let me have the cash. You know, Dad, he never did consider me much on responsibility.
He was a very smart man.
Oh, aye, that he was. And though a bonny bride should have her thoughts far from doom, it's a lucky girl whose father-in-law provides from the beyond for her future.
Isn't he sweet?
Thanks, Scotty. Bob, give us a couple near the old man, will you? And call up Owens at the bank in the morning so I can cash a check.
I don't think it's funny at all.
From the last administration, sir. Folks get a wee bit rocky when they come out here sometimes. Best to be prepared. Down the hatch.
Thank you.
Oh, over here. That's where the Drexel bunch is. It'll get so you'll love it out here, Bobby. It's a fine and green and lovely place. A fine place to slip away from the cares of the world. Slip away and live a wee bit.
As retiring chairman of the Immortal Hills Cemetery Management Committee,
George, I haven't got...
it is now my very great pleasure to announce the appointment of Robert Kraft, president of Kraft's department.
Now, George, don't shush me. You railroaded me into this.
Now, wait a minute, Bob. It's your turn. Last year was his turn. The year before it was mine. Nobody refuses to take the chairmanship. Pardon us, Henry.
President of Kraft's department store.
Why?
Nobody ever has. It's just not done, son.
Well, can you give me one good reason why I should take over the management of a whole big cemetery when I'm up to my neck in my own business?
As retiring...
Hold it. Of course I can. Tradition. Particularly for us Crafts. You always harp on dignity, honor, prestige. Well, how do you think we got it? Because your great-grandfather, your grandfather, and your father served on every community project, board, and committee that was ever created. They served for free, but they did it for business. That's what a fine family has to do in this town. And you can't refuse to do it without losing a lot of respect from our customers.
And another thing, it's just not done.
Well, pass me over till next year. I'm up to my ears.
Bob, do you realize you're talking about only a few hours a month at the most? McKee, the caretaker, handles everything. All you do is show up once a week and sign the checks.
It's getting late, George.
Proceed, Henry.
Raise your right hand.
Well, what about Bill Honegger?
Raise your right hand. Do you, Robert Kraft, swear to discharge the duties and responsibilities of this office faithfully and completely to the utmost of your abilities?
I do.
Congratulations, Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Trowbridge. Thank you, Uncle George.
Okay, Miss Lane, you can put through his calls now.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. I'll ring him for you now.
Hello. There's a guy named Watson on the phone. Says it's urgent. Do you know him?
Of Olds and Watson? Olds and Watson, you know.
Oh, the Undertaker. Swell. Hello. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Watson. I'll do the best job I can. Yes, sir. Oh, you're kidding. Well, sir, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it myself. I'll be there within an hour. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, what about this ad?
I have to wait. I'm sorry.
Well, now, call McKee. You don't have to go up there every time.
This is different.
Somebody prominent?
Stu Drexel and his wife.
Stu and Betsy. No.
Hi. Hi, Jess. McKee, this is Mr. Jessup of the Milford Herald.
Hi, Jessup. Oh, the west slope between the Pattersons and the Fenleys.
What else is new?
You were my big news for the day. Asked about plans for the coming year, Kraft revealed the Immortal Hills will install a drive-in bar to stimulate additional trade. I'm stuck with the obituary detail. Boy, it's cold in here.
McKee, let's get that heat on that letter tomorrow. We better get ready for the interment.
Aye, that'll be done, sir.
And you better change the Drexel pins. Black instead of white.
Oh, they already got black pins, sir.
Oh, who changed them?
Well, now, the last I remember was the very day they come out here to give you the order, and you stuck in 2 pins.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I must have picked up the wrong color.
Hmm?
Well, nothing. It's just a little weird, that's all.
What?
Well, the kids came out here right after they tied the knot. They bought a couple of plots. Stu was complying with some technicality in his trust. And it was all very cute. We had a couple of laughs. And afterwards, I jabbed 2 pins in the map, white pins, I thought, just to make it official. And I hear today they've been killed. And the maps had them on the blacklist all the time.
Okay, so what?
Well, nothing. It just made me feel a little eerie, that's all.
I think he means he marked the young couple for death, sir.
Yeah, I guess that was it. That must have been the feeling I had. Well, it's funny what'll go through a guy's mind, isn't it?
Do me a favor, McKee. If he starts fooling around with those pins again, be sure he stays away from the west slope, between the Pattersons and the Finleys.
Indeed, I will, sir.
Hi, Annie. What are you doing out here?
I had a luncheon date, but I was stood up.
I know a nice little place down the street.
I just might take you up on that.
I won't hold my breath.
George told me about Beth and Stuart. I just had to see you. Made me think how lucky we are just to be alive and together.
Oh, Ann, this is Mr. McKee. This is Miss Craig, my fiancée, Andy.
How do you do?
Miss, would you be wanting me for anything else, Bobby?
No, thanks, Andy.
Bob. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I'm just a little depressed, that's all. But you'll take care of that. And I kept wishing we could keep our appointment.
Oh, rendezvous, if you don't mind. Your gray flannel is showing. Actually, do you know what made me turn around and come here instead of going home?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was driving along, feeling rejected. And then all of a sudden I saw you very clearly in my mind. Bob, it's just that you're too attractive. After all, president of a department store and in charge of the Immortal Hills.
Irresistible.
I saw you and I heard you. Lunchtime, Annie. That's what you said distinctly.
Lunchtime, Annie. Well, I can do better than that, I hope.
Oh, you did. You said, I want you. And I need you. And A whole lot of lovely things I'd be embarrassed to repeat.
Yeah. You know, just about the time you were seeing me, I had you on my mind.
That's amazing.
No, I mean it.
And I don't blame you for not wanting to repeat what I was thinking.
We better go to lunch or get married. Or I can just as easily join Jess at that little spot down the road he spoke of.
We regret the management does not permit exchanges once the merchandise has been purchased.
Then I'll freshen up.
Immortal Hills, Kraft. Hi, Carl. No, terrible. No, I'm sorry. The funeral's been confined to the immediate family. Yeah, all right, Carl. I'll see you later.
No, no.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
You're right. We are lucky to be alive. Be with each other. Come on.
Hey everyone, we are back. We hope you are enjoying this wonderful, eerie, morbid movie.
Yes, and right now, I just took Celeste over here to see this magnificent mausoleum. This mausoleum is the largest in the state, the largest private mausoleum in the state.
And if you look, you will see, like, it is facing up because it is impressive. It is huge.
Okay.
I'll show a picture of the outside of it.
So it is 30 feet wide by 38 feet long, and it stands at 49 feet tall. Now, I don't know, we'll get a picture of the name on here if you can't see it.
Can't see it.
No, okay. We are at the Blatz family mausoleum, built in 1896. Now, for those of you local to Milwaukee in the state of Wisconsin, you're probably quite familiar with Blatz beer.
Yes.
He was the third largest brewer in Milwaukee, city of Milwaukee, 1849 until 1959, when Blatz Brewery sold the rights to the Pabst Brewing Company. And as of today, Blatz beer is contracted under the Miller Brewing Company in Milwaukee here.
So you have, this
Yes.
is part of our Beer Baron tour.
Yes. Now let me check my facts real quick on this because there's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of numbers that go with this. Okay, so when this was completed in 1896, not 1846, 1896, it is made out of 525 tons of Beret granite. The inside is made out of Italian marble. And there is, how much? It doesn't say how much. But yeah, this is impressive.
It is huge. Yeah, we'll put in a picture and you can see us on it for scale, but this is enormous.
49 feet tall.
Yeah, we had to set up the camera. There was no good angle because it's on a hill too. So when you drive by, you are looking up at this massive, impressive.
It is hard to miss this. And actually, diagonally too, if you peek your head out right here, you will see Emil Blatz over there.
Oh.
Yeah, family member of Blatz.
And it's a Schlitz.
Yep, and Schlitz is across the way here too. There's a couple other beer barons buried here as well, along with their families, which is what makes this also interesting.
See Morgan. Morgan?
No, please. Can we enjoy the architecture today? What?
I just have a simple question for you. How many dead people are buried in a cemetery?
I don't know. It depends, I guess, on the size, right? And plots and...
All of them!
True. No, can that be true? No, because people dump bodies all the time outside of cemeteries.
You're ruining my joke, Morgan.
I am ruining your joke now. I am. We're just talking about, though, the residents of the cemetery, correct? Right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. I would hope that they're all dead. Isn't that why they put bells on people's toes
Do
back
they
in the
still?
day?
Yeah. Do they still ever do that?
No, I think.
Or do we make sure
I
they're
think we've
dead?
made some pretty good medical advances.
I feel like nowadays they just make sure people are dead. Like they bash them on the head a few times, or like cut them up with something. They do something right. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like those horror stories you're waking up on the autopsy table, like, oh god.
No, that freaks me out.
It's like my worst fear.
Yeah.
Well, being buried alive is my worst fear. Yeah.
Hey, do you think we can break in?
We could try. Oh, it's a beautiful gate. It looks like it's made out of copper.
Oh, that is the biggest lock I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is. That's bigger than my hand. But look at these door knockers.
Yeah, this place has some really nice knockers, and they really don't want you to get
hear
in.
it echo?
Yeah.
Listen to that.
That sound could wake the dead, Morgan.
Hello?
We're here for some beer.
Yes. Yeah, so we will show you the exterior of this as best we can. We might have to get a couple shots in. I think this is
gorgeous.
It's
though.
massive and beautiful.
And you guys, please enjoy more of this wonderful, awful, fun movie.
Yeah.
Hey ho, nobody home. Eat nor drink nor money have none. Still, well. Hey, Bobby! Be happy. Hey ho. Ah, I picked the Strexel stone for glass. Fine and rich and swirly. I'm a granite man myself. Bobby! Bobby! I've got a surprise.
Found your replacement.
Oh, well, no, not yet. But I'm scouting the countryside. This is far sweeter. This is what I call getting things done.
Okay, you should have been an executive.
Hey, best take off your coat, Bobby. You'll be getting overheated. Fairly quiet this week. Only one passing. Now, if you'll just sign these.
Let's get rid of these flowers.
Oh, aye, they smell a wee bit sickly. I was hoping to keep them for the burial this afternoon.
We need much help?
Oh, no, this is just an average funeral. They don't come like the Drexel doings every day, thank the Lord.
McKee, this bill for W. Isham. What's it for?
Well, he's the lad for this afternoon, Bobby. Oh, no need to look so sad. Willisham was the same age lad as me. Oh, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Mighty queer it strikes me, Bob. I went to the map just after we got the news. They changed Willisham's pin to black. It was already black. Looks like there might be something creepy up with that map. Changing pen colors without human assistance, no less.
I've changed Mr. Isham's pin on it.
But, Bob, you haven't been here since he died.
Jess, please. I know, I changed his pin before he died, not after. Jess, it's Bob Kraft. Can you come over here right away? No, I'm at the cemetery.
That map's nothing but an old piece of paper hanging on the wall. All you do when you stick pins in it is to make holes in the paper. White pins, black pins, safety pins. It doesn't make any difference, see? Well, look, it's unfortunate that it worked out this way, but coincidence is a part of everyday life. Some are funny, some are pretty odd, but this one isn't even good enough to make the back page of the shopping news. That's all it is, Bob, coincidence.
Yeah. You're right, Jess. Thanks.
That's okay. Sometime when I've tied on a real headbender, you can do the same for me. What's your trouble?
Well, nothing, but I've been through all this before. The grass, and the quiet, and that sound. I never knew what it was. It's the sound of a name being cut into a headstone.
Yeah, I've heard of people who thought they'd been through the same bit before in their dreams. I think it's even happened to me.
What would you say if I told you this happens to me regularly? Ever since I was a child. Sometimes as often as every other week.
I'd say you were sensitive or exaggerating.
Third floor sportswear, 9280 gross. Compared to 8500 as the same date last year. Basement sportswear.
I'm going to call Bates and Honegger and Trowbridge right now and tell them I'm quitting. Don't worry, George. Nothing drastic will happen to the store. My mind's made up.
You mean mixed up? I've lived in Milford all my life, and I can't remember any man who ever let that place get the better of him. Why, when I was chairman, I'll bet I stuck the wrong colored pins in that thing a dozen times. If I ran out of one color, I used the other. You've only been down there a couple of times.
George, I put black pins in the map for the Drexel couple the day they were killed. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then I took a white pin out of the map quite at random, and I put a black pin in its place, and today I find out the old man it belonged to died during the week.
Bob, that's terrible. For heaven's sake, Bob, everybody loves a ghost story. Where's your sense of humor? You don't really believe that stuff you're telling me, do you?
No. But I still think I may be learning something about myself. Where are you going?
Oh, I think I'll just take a run out to the cemetery.
What for?
Sounds like it might be fun. After all, I've been trying to find some way to wipe out our competition for years.
Good night, George.
Want to take my car?
All right.
Won't be but a moment, sir.
No, don't bother, McKee. I think I've got it. Oh, that'll be all, McKee.
Is everything all right, Bobby?
We'll see you later, Andy.
Well, the place hasn't changed a bit since I was chairman. A few more pins in the map.
Black ones.
White ones, too. Sit down and relax, Bob. I think I can get this whole thing cleared up for you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to convince you that there's nothing out here for you to worry about.
George, let's forget this.
Bob, I said I'm just going to convince you.
Well, George, suppose you took Henry Trowbridge's white pin out and put a black one in its place, and tomorrow morning he turned up dead.
It's not a chance.
Well, I know not a chance, but suppose by some weird coincidence it happened. Now, it's happened to me 3 times already.
I deal strictly in facts, son. I don't go for this coincidence bunk. But if Henry Trowbridge even looks a little peaky tomorrow, you can resign and I'll back you up. Now, Henry Trowbridge, let me see if I remember.
George, I just mentioned Henry as an example. Now, you're not going to use him.
Well, Henry's as good a choice as anybody, considering he directly preceded you as committee chairman.
Wait a minute, George. You better let me put the pin in. If you do the honors and nothing happens, it won't be quite as conclusive.
By all means, let's not diverge from the established pattern. But I'll have you know, I was no slouch when it came to pinning the tail on the donkey when I was a kid. No reflection on Henry. Go ahead, Bob.
Call Henry and tell him what we did.
He'd only think we were kidding.
No, he'd believe you.
Then he'd call my physician, and he'd reserve a nice quiet room for me at Providence Hospital. Let's keep this quiet, my boy. Henry can't complain. After all, if his term had run a week or so longer, he might be having the willies instead of you.
Hey, we're here with another one of Milwaukee's beer barons. You will probably recognize his name, Schlitz.
Yes.
Schlitz beer is still around, by the way.
Who is Milwaukee's best?
Milwaukee's best. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of his name, but I will get it because he is here. He is here too. Yes. Pabst is here too. Yes. Oh yes, the Beast. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. So if you're anywhere near Milwaukee, Milwaukee's famous for beer. I'm sure most people know that, but we're trying to give a tour of it.
Yes.
All the dead beer people.
But we love the beer. I mean,
yes.
I use it to cook, but not too much of a beer girl. But
I'm a beer girl.
You are, and I know you like your Pabst too. So that's why I was like, dude, I
yes.
gotta take her on the beer baron.
That is my beer.
Schlitz beer was originally started by a man named August Krug in 1846. This is where I got the dates mixed up with.
Why did he call it Schlitz if he was named
Here's
Krug?
why. So, Mr. August Krug hired a man named Joseph Schlitz to help with the brewing, and eventually sold the rights to, well, he didn't sell the rights, so what happened was August Krug died 7 years after starting his brewery. Joseph Schlitz married Mr. Krug's widow, Anna Krug.
Oh.
Yes.
Neighbor Schlitz.
Yes. So now she became Schlitz.
That's kind of weird, but kind of cool
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes. August Krug also had a 16-year-old nephew at the time with the same name. And so when Mr. Schlitz died, business went to him. Then the Uhlans took it over. And then in 1979, the Pabst Brewing Company bought Schlitz beer and the recipe and the rights to it.
This seems like kind of a trend.
It does, yes. Oh, it does. And you've seen the Pabst Mansion and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You know, I can never think of PBR without thinking of Blue Velvet.
Yes.
Where he's like, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes.
Great movie. Terrified me, traumatized me, gave me nightmares, but I love it.
But as you notice, Celeste, you see the boat on here?
Yeah, I see the boat.
Yes, and it says, does it say on there? Lost, May 7th, 1875.
Oh, wow.
How Mr. Schlitz died. He was on a trip to Germany. To go back to Germany. He was from Germany. He was traveling over there. And the boat that he was on sunk off of one of the coasts of Sicily. And he drowned.
Did they recover the body, or is this just a figurative grave?
This is a tribute, a memorial to him.
But
yes,
they don't have his body.
Nephew is there, step-nephew. There's a Uhlin right there. If you look around here, let's see, there's another Uhlin. Paula Uhlin, another one. So this is the family plot right here, and it goes all the way over there too.
That is a really
Yes.
cool memorial
Yeah.
then to have
And this
this
is the
ship.
boat that he was on. Yeah. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, they did not recover his body. They do know that he drowned, but yeah, 1875.
That's
By the time they would have got him back, though.
Yeah, that's true. And I know, especially in those days, transporting.
Well, they did have
bodies
embalming
and-
though, because that started during the Civil War.
Yeah,
so
but on a boat. The whole
it's
thing
probably
seems
just
a little
best
bit.
to-
Yeah.
ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
I mean, if you're buried at sea, that's pretty
and
common.
Many an honorable man.
Yeah.
He was also in the war as well. This man served in the war and whatnot. Yeah.
That's interesting,
This is a cool one too. There was a huge wasp nest up here that you can see.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
Ooh, those are always fun.
Good thing I didn't look up earlier, because
Oh,
I'm like
hornets.
critters everywhere today.
They're not here, thankfully. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
let
the
it-
nest
I
is
wouldn't have
gone.
us sit here.
I got stung on my hand like last week, and it was not fun.
I got stung, what was it, a couple weeks ago when I was reshingling the roof on a shed, and I stuck my hand somewhere that I shouldn't have, and got to get that Benadryl in me right now.
Yeah, I was like wiping out something. I was like wiping my hand off on my shorts, and it was like, ah!
I was stung by an ant the other day too. I was flying ants.
Earwigs, and like the wasps are bad this year.
Oh God, did I tell you about the kid in town?
What kid in town?
He had an earwig in his ear. Oh yeah, he was screaming like no tomorrow. It was so bad, Celeste. Oh, it was so bad.
How did he get an earwig in his ear?
He fell asleep. I don't know. And he woke up just screaming in horrible, horrible pain, and it was sitting there tapping on his eardrum like,
That creeps me
no.
out.
See, that's the stuff nightmares are made of. That is, I will deal with ghosts and werewolves and vampires and goblins and leprechauns. I'll deal with that. You give me earwigs and wasps. No. That is the line. And snakes. That's the line.
Do you remember the Star Trek movie with the thing that goes in the ear?
Yeah.
That like traumatized my entire life.
Nope.
Like I had like. So we're older, but we go through these phases of childhoodness.
Yes.
And so I was, I've experienced that as if I was a child watching it, and it was like traumatized me forever, and I will never like
that urban legend in the 70s about the girl with the pimple. That one got me.
Oh, from that was in Scary Stories.
Yes, where she thinks she's got a pimple, and she's sitting there, and then she's in the bathtub, and it's not even spiders, it's the botflies. I can't handle those botfly extraction videos. I will watch blackheads, ingrown hairs, and cysts all day long. Botflies. No.
Yeah, all those things really, really creep me out. Anyway, we got off on a tangent about creepy things. Hopefully we've not traumatized you as much as we just traumatized ourselves, but also hope we do, because this is a horror show.
I think about that with flies too. When I go to sleep and there's a fly in the room, I cover my ears. That's why I put my bandana on. Because I get scared.
I'm gonna do that.
Sometimes it's earmuffs. It's whatever I have handy, but I cover my ears when I sleep. And that's the reason.
I wondered why you had muffins on your head the one day.
Yes, it worked though.
Ear muffins.
Oh, it worked. Ear muffins, yes. Not earmuffs, ear muffins. And it works.
If you don't have anything else, you use muffins.
Just don't stick like cotton balls and stuff. You just
don't
cover your hair.
Don't put things
ears.
in your ears.
I mean, if you need to too, you can even take your hair. If you got long hair, pull it back, just cover your ears and tie it, and there you go. If you're freaked out like I am about bugs crawling in your ears while you're sleeping.
Yeah, I like bugs, but not in my ears.
Nope. We should probably get back in this movie.
Yeah, let's do that.
Your ears off all day.
Hello, Miss Trowbridge. This is Bob Kraft. What are you doing up so late? Nothing serious. I just meant to call Henry earlier, and it slipped my mind. Put him on, will you? Or if he's watching the movie and enjoying it, ask him to call me back during the commercial.
No, Bob. Just hold on and I'll get him. He's upstairs reading in bed, but I'm sure he's not asleep.
Well, I hate to disturb him.
You just hold the wire, Bob.
Hello, Henry? understand, I'll hang up right away. I'm terribly sorry.
Wait here. This won't take long. Morning.
How do you do, sir?
Well, I don't understand it. Jess said he'd be here in 20 minutes. Lieutenant Claiborne?
So that's it, huh? Sure big enough. There are the black pins, eh?
We're particularly concerned with these four. Isham, the Drexel couple, and now Trowbridge.
Let me get this straight, Mr. Kraft. You say that every time you stick a black pin in the map, people turn up dead?
That's right. Well, go ahead, Lieutenant. You think I'm a crackpot, and I hope you're right. I just want to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Stewart and Elizabeth Drexel, DOA, emergency receiving hospital, result of highway collision. William Isham, cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage. Henry Trowbridge, coronary thrombosis. Well, the rule is this. Where no evidence of homicide exists on initial investigation, the matter will be dropped. Investigated, found nothing. Sorry. Jessup?
What's new, or should I say real?
Nothing like murder, if that's what you're after.
I'm sorry Bob saw fit to disturb you, Lieutenant.
No harm done. What do you make of it, Jess?
I keep telling him it's just coincidence.
Yeah. If I were you, Mr. Kraft, I'd take a week or two off. Take it easy. You'll forget all about it. If you're going to use the story, kindly refrain from mentioning my name.
I know. Lieutenant Claiborne, with an E on the end.
Boy, I think 4 deaths could appear so flimsy to a policeman.
You never should have called the police. Claiborne's one of the best. Any other guy might have looked for a big, heavy book to throw at you.
Yeah, maybe you're right. On the other hand, maybe that thing's dangerous. Really dangerous. Or maybe the element of danger is in a man. In me.
Bob.
Is there something different about me, Jess? I'm really beginning to wonder.
Hey, buddy. If there is anything to this map bit, don't go blaming it on nameless forces. Maybe somebody's trying to scare you. Could be you got an enemy or two.
Somebody using your desk, George?
He came in to keep me company, darling.
That was very sweet of him.
Oh, darling, you must be dead tired.
I'm all right.
No sleep, and then to have to go back
I'm
out
all
there
right.
again?
There's no crime in needing a good rest.
George, I've got some correspondence to take care of.
I've already taken care of your mail, and I took the liberty of making reservations for you. Flight 33, leaving for Miami at 5:45. My pal Sanford owns one of the finest hotels on the beach.
George, thanks anyway. There's nothing I'd rather do, but I can't possibly go now.
Bob, I gave you my word. If anything happened to Henry, you could resign. I talked to Charlie and Bill Honiger, and they understand completely. It's all fixed, son.
The situation's changed. Until this thing's cleared up, I'm not about to resign.
Oh.
And will you tell the others? Ask them to meet me here in my office, 7:30 tonight.
Awfully short notice.
The committee can't just ignore what's happened.
I guess you're right.
Darling,
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you.
now why can't you resign?
Well, because possibly something real, unreal, I don't know, is waiting to kill one of us every time I jab a black pin into that map.
Bob, You're talking about Henry Trowbridge. The poor man died of a heart attack. Heart disease is the country's #1 killer.
Maybe not in Milford.
Oh, Bob, you can't mean that that map is literally killing people?
No, Ann, maybe it isn't a map.
Well...
What about the other day? You saw me, you heard me. Lunchtime, Annie, I want you, I need you.
Bob, I was obviously trying to bring a little romance into our very dull and dismal lives.
No, Ann, don't try to deny it.
I do deny it. Bob, I love you. I'm not in any sort of occult thrall to you. Hey, can't you take a joke? All right, then I was lying to you. Does that bring you back to reality again? Bob, I think we better take advantage of those plane tickets. George's Mr. Sanford's could be best man.
The offer's awfully attractive.
I love you so much.
And if you're going to cry, do it someplace else.
Now, Bob, it's real simple. We're willing to play ball with you. If you want to remain chairman of this committee, we wouldn't think of trying to dissuade you, because we have confidence in you. Full confidence.
All the confidence in the world, Bob.
Now, all we want before we break this up is a promise from you, Mr. Chairman, that before you turn in tonight, you'll go out to the cemetery. Now, let me finish. You'll go out there and change my white pen to black. And Charlie's and George's. Just as simple as that. And then go home and go right to bed.
No, sir.
You're not the committee, Bob. You're only our chairman, with the duty to carry out the will of the majority. We feel that you should do as Bill said, because it'll put an end to this business once and for all. Otherwise, we'll do the resigning right here and now.
Well, let me sleep on it. Let's all sleep on it. I don't think you people realize what might be involved here.
Motion defeated. Tonight.
Well, your devotion to the principle of majority rule moves me deeply. Okay. And good night. Charlie. Here goes nothing, Uncle George. Who is it?
It's me, Bobby. Open up. I seen your car lights from my window driving through the gate, so I come running.
You needn't have bothered me, Key. You put in a full day already, and I'll see you tomorrow.
No. Bobby, please. Bobby, listen. When you locked and bolted this place, I said to myself, now there's a man who knows his business. That's what I said. He may not know everything, what's behind it, but he knows when a thing's to be fooled with and when it's to be left alone. There's nothing to fear with a man like Bobby Kraft at the tiller. That's what I said.
Well, that's fine now. You run along home and don't worry about a thing. Nothing's going to happen to you.
No. Please. Bobby, lock this door again and send yourself home. Or else, who can answer for what may happen to the whole miserable lot of us?
It'll have to be open sometime. If I don't do it, they'll get somebody who will. Good night, Andy. Good night. Andy, go home. What do you want, Jess?
Bob? Why didn't you answer me? I've been looking all over town for you. I'm calling from your place now. What are you doing at the cottage again? Haven't you had enough for one day?
Jess, I think I've done something terribly wrong.
Oh, Pete, what are you talking about?
Well, we had a meeting of the cemetery committee after closing tonight. Bill Honegger, Charlie Bates, and George, everybody. And they voted to make me come out here to the cemetery and stick black pins in the map for each of them. Just like it was some kid's nightmare. So I did it. Jess, there's a black pin in that map for Charlie Bates and Bill Honegger and George. And if anything happens to them, to any of them, it's my fault, nobody else's.
Nothing's going to happen to them, Bob. As a matter of fact, I think they did you a big favor. I've never heard of a coincidence involving 3 people dying all at once. By tomorrow at this time, this whole big worry of yours will do nothing but a lot of hot air.
Well, I hope you're right, Jess. I guess there's nothing for me to do but see this thing through.
I think I'll check on him myself and see... Bob? Bob? Honegger, Bates, and George.
We are back.
Missing fingers.
And we're continuing our beer baron tour here.
Yes.
Where are we?
I brought you to the Pabst Mausoleum or plot. This is the Pabst plot, yes, and Milwaukee's best plot. Best and Pabst. The families kind of intermarried.
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the little tombstones, they say best all over it.
There's 6 Pabst babies here. Well, I call them babies. There was a child over here that lived to be about 9 or 10. I see 6 of them.
That's sad. You know, I actually didn't know that Milwaukee's Best was named after someone named Best.
Yeah.
How silly of me. I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, this one, it's elegant, but it's not, it's, I don't want to say it's more dignified because it's not. I mean,
yeah.
You know, Schlitz over there, that's an awesome mausoleum. Don't get me wrong, but this is more grounded, I would say.
Yeah, I really like the spirit it conveys. Like, it's less ostentatious than the Blatz one, but it has this like sense of some like mourning
elegance
to it, and I really like the statue has a lot of like spirit to it. It conveys a lot.
There is a lot of elegance and mourning here. That sums it up perfectly, Celeste. Because I mean, you got, and it's not just the Pabst babies either. There's other family children here too. This family didn't live long. Even the adults are in their 40s.
It's definitely like a monument, and you drive by and you're like, oh, that's gorgeous, but you don't really think of it. Whereas if you pass the Blatz Mausoleum, you were like, whoa.
It's there, yeah. This one, her eyes are closed.
Yeah, she's missing some fingers, but you can
see the tears though. Look at that. Look at that in the
They put tears on it. It's weathered, but it is absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Now, I know a couple years ago somebody came through here and like took all the hands off of like the angels and the marble statues. I mean, what a rotten thing to do. I'm sorry, but that's...
Yeah, if you pass by, you will see that a lot of these people are missing their hands.
Can you please return them? Because I'm sure you still got them.
Yeah. So that's,
Not right, man.
I mean, we like hanging out in cemeteries. We enjoy visiting them, but you have to, with respect. We don't, and we even have some fun with it.
Right.
You know, you don't have to be somber and melancholy the whole time you're here, but you don't ruin anything. You don't disrespect anything.
Don't destroy. Don't destruct. That's destructiveness in a cemetery is not cool.
Right.
It's not.
No. So yeah, when we come here, we try to not damage anything. We leave things as we found.
I mean, we may pretend to pick the noses on the statues instead, but we leave what we find. We don't. Yeah. I'm not about to go kleptoing pieces of a statue. No.
So speaking of Pabst and Best, so why were they buried together? Do you know?
Because they're married. They intermarried.
Did they? Oh, okay. So they not only bought it, it was an intermarriage.
Let me see your finger. When did you get that done?
Oh, a few weeks ago in the Dells.
Oh.
It needs to be touched up.
That's adorable. Oh, oh.
My first hand tattoo.
How'd it feel?
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
This actually wasn't that bad.
I'll go over that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad. It's cute, but yeah, fingers are hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Oh, that is so adorable.
I had to go over him 4 times.
Wow.
And these ones, he said we were done. Sorry, guys, we're going off another tangent here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Knuckle tattoos.
Yeah, I'm joining the club.
Cool. She's hardcore now, guys.
You know how I went to the Dells with my friend? We got matching finger tattoos.
Oh, that's adorable.
Is that my squiddle finger?
Yes. I've got an Appalachian mud squid on my lower back. That is my stamp.
Yeah, see, this is just, it's obviously an octopus, but I say squid because squiddle finger.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like
anyway.
that. It's adorable, though.
And speaking of stuff, did you realize in this movie, if you've been paying attention, did you realize what a grave mistake he made?
That's awesome. I've made a few grave mistakes.
Yeah, so keep watch for what this guy is doing in this movie because it's going somewhere.
Not college, but somewhere.
Yeah. Not anywhere good.
Going places.
Lieutenant Claiborne, please.
Homicide. This is Homicide Sergeant Gray.
Lieutenant Claiborne, please.
Here. Take a message.
Sergeant, this is Bob Kraft, Kraft's department store.
Oh, sure. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, I'll check. Mr. Kraft, are you calling on police matters or just something personal?
Well, it's a little bit of both, Sergeant.
Drive at Adams 1311.
Thank you. Adams 13.
Honegger. Adams 1311. Adams 1. Homicide.
Yes, sir. What was that?
This is Bob Kraft speaking. I can't get through to that Adams number.
No?
Claiborne's at that number, and it's imperative that I speak to him right now.
Well, sir, just a second, sir. I think he's reporting in on another line. They've been trying to get you, but your line's been busy. Hang up and they'll call you back right away.
Something happened to Bill Honegger. Hello.
Yes, Bob.
Jess, I'm expecting a call from Claiborne. Hang up. Call me back in 10 minutes.
Claiborne's with me.
Let me talk to him.
He's not here now.
What's wrong, Jess?
Bill Honegger's dead.
As soon as I found out, I routed Claiborne out of the sack and filled him in on the whole wild story. We were over at Honegger's in 10 minutes with 2 squad cars detailed to cover Charlie Bates and your uncle.
How did Honegger get it?
He didn't. That's the trouble.
What?
Poor guy just dropped dead.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Bates? Charlie Bates?
They found him in his apartment.
Say it.
No homicide. He just stopped breathing.
George?
George, yeah. I called and told him about Honegger before I left for Claiborne's. By the time the police got there, George had already left. Well, they'll find him, Bob. Don't worry.
I'll be waiting for word about George. Let me know.
I see you followed our wishes to the letter. Come on. I'll drive you home before you catch pneumonia.
You 3 men made a terrible contribution to this town tonight, whether you meant to or not. I'm not going anywhere, Uncle George. I'm staying right here.
Well, I'll admit that, what was Charlie and Bill going so suddenly?
Charlie and Bill and Henry and Isham and Beth and Stu.
Stop looking at the map.
You're looking at it. I'm looking at you. We're both waiting, aren't we, Uncle George? Waiting to see if you escape.
Escape dying? Nobody escapes that, my boy.
The only question is how long. The only question is, does a man die in his own time or in the maps? So far, everyone's been forced to conform to its schedule. Everyone but you.
That puts me back on schedule. My own schedule.
If it makes you feel any better.
Let me tell you something. From now on, if you want to see me, you're going to have to come down to the store. I won't make another special trip on your account.
The next time I see you, George, we'll both be right here. Homicide.
Homicide.
This is Robert Kraft out at Immortal Hills.
Bourne speaking.
Lieutenant, my uncle just left here. I think under the circumstances, the least you can do is put a man on to watch over him, no matter how ridiculous the situation seems to you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Kraft. We'll take care of it right away.
He's wearing an overcoat over his robe and pajamas.
We put a description of the wire quite some time ago.
And you do think there's danger?
Sergeant, it's Kraft, George F. driving east on Bunker Hill. Road from destination there. Apartments, big We'll have your uncle safe and sound in 10 minutes, Mr. Kraft. You'll hear from me.
We're back. Yep, we're still at Forest Home here, and this, of course, is like, it's a, what do they call this for me? My unicorn? Is that the phrase?
I think so. Yeah, you are at like the Holy Grail of graves.
Yes. So you don't have to be
yeah.
just from Milwaukee to recognize this name behind us.
Davidson. Now you'd think that's a fairly common name,
Yes.
but we're thinking of a particular Davidson.
We are, and you know, my crowd are fans too. I know a lot of you ride, so I know, and even those who don't ride, everybody knows this name, Harley Davidson. We are here at the family plot for the co-founders of the Harley Davidson Motorcycle Company, which was established in Milwaukee in 1903.
Until today, I had no
Yes,
idea.
she had no idea that Harleys were at one point in time American-made.
I knew they were American. I just didn't know it was from Milwaukee.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
'cause
yes.
it's so national. I was
Yes.
like, you know, Harley Davidson, whatever.
Yeah.
She told me, and I was
Oh,
like, whoa.
And that's also why it's so popular in this area.
That makes more
you see
sense
Harley
now.
stuff everywhere.
I watched Sons of Anarchy. That's where my knowledge of
Yeah.
bikers comes from. But
Yep, and not all of them have Harleys if you look.
yeah,
in
see,
there.
I wouldn't
you will
even
see
know.
choppers in there, things like that. Like, okay, yeah.
The last time I was on a motorcycle, I got set on fire. That's a whole nother story.
And that was a Harley. But
It
see,
was, yeah.
do you remember me trying to help you?
Yes.
Lift up your skirt, Celeste. Don't let it touch that tailpipe. Don't
Yeah.
let it touch that tailpipe.
Yes, my
oh, no.
boot was on fire. It was somebody else's coat.
And your skirt.
Set my boot
And
on
somebody
fire.
else's coat. Yes, it did. But yeah, Yeah, I told that person too. Dude, your tailcoat. Pick it up, man.
It was scary.
There is proper riding attire.
Hopefully there's video of it somewhere because it was probably also hilarious.
And then there is not, and please forgive me for saying this, but like when I see people in flip-flops or Crocs or tennis shoes,
Don't wear shoes that are
on
gonna
a
melt.
bike.
No, you don't. Crocs will melt.
I just want you to know, especially those in flip-flops, I laugh at you. I laugh at you when I see you on a bike, on the back of a bike, or riding a bike. If you are in flip-flops on the highway. And just so you know, majority of the world laughs at you too.
I don't laugh. I cringe a little bit like, ugh.
I do cringe, but I laugh because you know better. You know better. And you need to tell your riders too, the person you have on the back of that bike with you, do not wear flip-flops on that bike. I can't stress that enough. If you want your toes, if you want your feet, if you fall, if you get hit, something happens to you on that bike, your feet are gonna look like hamburger. Just so you know.
There is a reason
I've seen it.
People wear boots.
I can dissect these boots for you all day and why they look like they do. And not only are they fashionable, but these D-rings on here, these O-rings, these are protection. If I go on a bike and I fall, these rings are where my ankle bone is. That's going to protect my ankle bone. That goes in your ankle, you're done. Your foot's screwed. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted for these boots, I mean, I don't know how many pairs of Harley boots I own at this point because I love them and I will never stop. But I wear them until they fall apart. Just
she does, yeah. Completely disintegrate.
When I take them to Wolverine to get them repaired, people are like, I've never seen boots that look like them. Well, a lot of miles on them. Anyways, these, they go up here. They go up here. This is proper riding. I wanted a higher shaft on these boots. This is protection. The reason they wear leather, it's protection. Road rash sucks. If you've ever dumped a bike, you know that it's horrible.
Meanwhile, I have like fuzzy velvet Doc Martens. So the bottom of my feet are well protected against everything. But
yeah, you'd be fine with the boots on the. I would suggest thicker clothes, you know, thicker leggings and stuff like that. But you know.
So tell me a little bit more about Harley Davidson.
Back to Harley Davidson. So Harley Davidson was co-founded by 4 people. William S. Harley was a 21-year-old. He worked for a bicycle company here in Milwaukee. And his dream was to take the hard work out of bicycling. He eventually went on to become an engineer.
That makes
in
sense.
Motors.
You know, automate things or make it less work.
Or an engineer specifying in engines. Yeah. William, Davidson, Harley, Davidson. See, now this is the names, okay? Here we go. Yeah. Arthur Davidson.
His grave's right over there.
Yeah, he's right over there, and what did he do? I can't remember what his day job was before Harley Davidson, but him and his 2 other brothers, and William S. Harley, again, who was 21 at the time. These men were young. It's really cool. William Davidson, too, was a German immigrant as well. Yeah, you know, hands that built America here.
Yeah.
Worked in a shed on the Davidson farm to build Harley Davidson motorcycles. What they originally did was they took a bicycle and they attached a motor to it.
That sounds scary.
It was very scary. But during wartime production for World War I and World War II, they stopped production on their motorcycles to focus on getting artillery and stuff to the troops. They've always been die-hard American-made families, and they're proud of that. They were always proud of it. So that's why to us it was such a bummer when we outsourced. And that's political. We're not going to get into that, but it was a sad day because
it is.
The slogan, you know, you always heard "Made in America."
And I love I don't like crotch rockets so much. I love the big bikes. Yep. Those are cool to me.
So they started actually on this in 1901.
Wow.
They started attaching the engines to the bicycles, and by the time that they brought their plan into action and started with the formal company, they had made 150 of these motor bicycles. And as the company grew, obviously tweaks happened. You know, you got the V engines going. They had a designer for the way that the bikes looked, roadsters, nights and you know, all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very vivid history here in Milwaukee. There is the Milwaukee Harley Davidson Museum. There's a lot of pride. There is pride put into these bikes.
I was wondering why the museum was in Milwaukee. That makes more sense now.
Yes. But yeah, Sturgis is up in the Dakotas, if I remember right. Yeah. Oh man, last time I was
Oh, that is not an appropriate story for TV.
I'm never appropriate anyways. But yeah, so I love Harley Davidsons. I've been around them my whole life, I think, at this point. Well, I can't say whole life, no, because we're going by the show, Well, in the last 100 years. Do you remember when Harley Davidson turned 100 and you saw all the bikes riding everywhere?
So
I live for those things.
We're sisters, but I've always come back together, but we've diverged a lot over the years. We've spent sometimes even decades barely seeing each other.
Oh, yeah.
And just going off on our own kind of adventures, which is why we have some more eclectic knowledge. Like, I know weirdly a lot about 1800s Russian literature, and she knows a lot about motorcycles.
I do.
And I don't.
I try. I have fun working on them. I love wrenching on motorcycles. I think it's fun, and I enjoy riding them too because it's peaceful to me. Another thing about the Harley Davidson company is they're very big on honoring our veterans and helping them and whatnot, which I always thought is wonderful. It's a noble cause. Again, like you said, during wartime, they diverted their motorcycle making to helping our troops and stuff. We did have Harleys overseas.
Yeah.
We had Indians and Buells and stuff too. You know, there's different brands of bikes out there too. But Harley Davidsons, those are like the Porsches and Lamborghinis of the bike world.
You know what I want?
Is
scooter.
Scoots of anarchy. No, you ride way behind me, please. No.
I'd be like tooling around with a
I'm
little
gonna be towing
scooter.
her. That's what that's gonna be.
I would be adorable on a
You're gonna be able
scooter.
to catch up with me. Even if I got another, if I got another sports or even a 750, I don't know if I want the 750 because it's been a while, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing laps around. That's gonna be the thing. Oh no.
Speaking of doing laps, we're going to check out more of this place. And you guys, get back to this movie.
Are you sure your uncle was out there tonight? You didn't just think you saw him?
I told you he just left here.
That was 2 hours ago, and no sign of him anyplace. I put out on all points after the first hour. He's not on the road, and he's not home.
Hold the wire, Lieutenant. You better come out, Lieutenant. He's still here.
Where have you been all the day? Randall, my son, where have you been all the day?
Andy!
Someone, I've been out hunting, mother. I've been out hunting, mother. Make my bed soft, mother. Make my bed soon, for I'm sick.
Andy!
McKee, I'm going to burn that stuff in the greenhouse if this heater doesn't work by tonight.
Bobby, it took a whole lifetime of collecting for me to get the whole caboodle here. And see here, you haven't even touched your food. Man, you got to eat if you want to keep above the ground. Lights for me, Bobby. Of course, I can't answer for what happens after sundown.
Better wait in the car.
Irresistible.
Aren't I crazy?
Completely.
I'll never change, I'm afraid.
Annie, I'll see you later.
Bob, please. I take it back.
What?
That day in the car, I did see you and I did hear you. I really did. I should never have denied it.
It's all right, Annie. I'll see you later.
You have a party named Jacob Mittel someplace on the map? M-I-T-T-E-L.
William Porter? Sure.
You know him?
Yeah. We contact the French designers through Middle. Matter of fact, he's in Paris now.
Better strike him out.
Jay?
Go ahead.
How did he die?
He isn't dead. At least not yet. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Kraft. You're thinking that we tricked you into killing Jacob Mittel. Well, you're 100% right, so try to relax, huh? This one's on the police. You see, Jacob Mittel's in the prime of life. No previous major illnesses, no record life expectancy, exceptionally good. And he's in Paris with all that ocean water to protect him from this mess. Up until now, all the deaths have been confined to the local area. If it strikes somebody on another continent, then we've really found something.
I knew I should have gotten rid of those pins 4 days ago. Even the map, the whole thing, out. What I want to know is, what are you going to tell the district attorney is responsible for these deaths?
We gave this case a real full-dress investigation, Mr. Kraft. Questioned you and all the other suspects and witnesses until the point of comedy. Found nothing. No motive, no opportunity, no suspect, no crime, no weapon. Except 7 pins went in. And the 7 people died, not 1, 7. Who put in those pins? You did, all 7. Other chairmen and so on have been putting pins in that map for years, and nothing happened.
But with me,
it isn't impossible for a certain kind of man to be endowed with powers that nobody had ever dreamed he could have. A lot of scientists claim that. Maps and pins can't kill alone. The power of a human brain has to be behind them. Like in the Indies, I guess, those voodoo dolls you hear about. Witch doctor sticks pins in the thing until the guy in question is jinxed into dying. Of course, I know you didn't mean to kill anybody. I have to get back. You'll hear from me the minute we get word. I think I'd best be running along, too. Well, I think so.
reasoning power. Power. If I have the power of death using the black pens, then I must have the power of life using the white ones.
Morgan, get it back up. I can't get it. I don't think this is coming back up. That Celeste made a hole in the ground. Holy cow. I didn't do this. I did not.
You
no.
did something and it
No,
fell?
I did not. I did not.
Oh my God.
Oh, they must have took out a tree like that. Tree right there, see the fresh ground stump? When they took that tree out, it went beep and
I saw it fall.
No, they
with
moved
you.
the tree. I didn't do this. I did not do this.
Well, I guess it's gonna stay and we're gonna pretend this never happened. Glad nobody was under it, like me, almost under it. I feel like you're trying to kill me again.
You were over there. You were not almost under this.
So, just for that, Morgan.
Oh no. Yeah.
You get to listen to another joke, Morgan.
What is it, Celeste?
What sound does a witch's motorcycle make?
What sound does a witch's motorcycle make?
Broom, broom!
I like that. Oh my God, I do like that. That's hilarious.
She actually likes one.
I like that one. That's cute and funny.
Yes, because we were talking about motorcycles and that made me think of it.
That is cute. That is cute. I like that.
Now that we got our statue friend here that Morgan knocked over that we're never going to tell anyone about.
I mean,
Morgan didn't knock it over. It was just knocked over, and we found it here, and it came up this. Okay, so we'll show you, but it's this giant.
I don't even know who this belongs to. It's blank.
Gigantic pillar that it was at one point standing on, and now it's decapitated and it doesn't have a hand.
Oh, yes, it is very decapitated.
To be fair, I think it was decapitated before Morgan before it got knocked down.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
Mosquitoes getting me.
I'm looking for four-leaf clovers.
Clovers? I hate mosquitoes, by the way.
I hate mosquitoes too. Everybody hates mosquitoes. So, is there anything to talk about with this movie?
I mean, I like it. I like the whole cemetery thing. I like the whole way it's progressing. So I actually really enjoy this movie. I think it's fun. And what else to say about this cemetery, Morgan?
It's 200 acres. We've got governors buried here.
Oh.
There is a famous Broadway couple that is buried here. And I can't think of their name. Their name beseeches me now. My mind is...
Yeah, she's a little frazzled by knocking down this statue.
I didn't knock down the statue, and you told me to knock down the statue. Now we're going back on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she definitely did not knock down the statue. Some kind of magic thing she was doing.
Now.
Anyway, we're going to pretend like it was always here and it belongs here, but clearly it doesn't.
No.
And it's way too heavy to pick back
Civil
up.
War veterans buried here, too. I believe there's 21 of them here.
21?
Yes, there's 21 here. And remember when we went to Calvary Cemetery?
Yeah.
And we showed them the Civil War graves over there?
Mm-hmm.
These are more of those veterans that died in the care, under care in the hospital and stuff.
Come down here a little so we can see.
Okay.
So, wait, there's...
Whoa.
Yeah, that looks like things live in there.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, so there is several more veterans here, 21 to be exact, that were buried that died in Milwaukee area hospitals. And there are leading physicians here, as they call them. The man who invented the X-ray technology is buried here, at least in Milwaukee. It was when he started using X-ray technology, that's what it was. X-ray technology for skin care.
Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep. We've got early educators buried here. We have prominent black leaders that are also buried here too from the Milwaukee area. Pioneering women.
This is one of the most ostentatious cemeteries I've been in because it has like gigantic family tombstones, huge like mausoleums, statues, angels, artwork, benches. Yeah, this is
There's a
really
chapel here
cool.
too, and I don't know if it's open, but we can see.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go see if we can look at the chapel. A lot of these graves, they're very old, and it looks like people don't visit them frequently. But this is also a place where you can just hang out.
The cemetery actually runs on donations and stuff too, so people who do come and clean there volunteers.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's a park. It's Forest Home Cemetery and Garden Park or something. It's a very long name to this one.
Yeah, there's a whole like pond.
Yes.
There's geese.
Oh yes.
There's like a bridge, and it's really cool.
Yes. I'm itching to go do things.
Okay. Yeah, I'm itching for mosquitoes, so let's go.
Okay.
We should probably get as far away from this statue you didn't knock down as we possibly can.
Yes, I agree.
Before someone catches us having not knocked it down.
Yes.
So you guys,
I'm itchy now. I'm itchy on the back of my scalp.
I'm a little itchy too.
Let's go. Go find things to do.
This is the cemetery, that's right.
This is Rosamund Middle.
Rosamund, I don't... Yes.
Can't you hear me? This is Rosamund Middle. Jay's wife.
Rosamund, yes.
Just received a cable, Bob. Can't you hear me?
He just received a cable from Paris, France.
That's right. I'll read it again.
Regret, Jacob W. Middle died in Hotel Royale. Body awaits disposition. Sign American Embassy, Paris, France.
He died there.
Died in Paris, France. Died. Jacob W. Middle.
Impossible. Impossible. He cannot be dead. What? What? You still think that thing's the killer? Or your own puny power, Mr. Chairman? The only power you or that map ever had was me, so far as killing goes. You marked them for death, Mr. Chairman, but who did the deed? Andrew McGee.
Oh, Andy. Why?
You and your high and mighty committee, turning out a man with 40 years of service on the grounds. 40 years.
I told you, Andy, a full pension.
It isn't cash what keeps a man going, lad. What keeps his feet on the ground and keeps him on the job till the Lord makes him quit. The Lord, but nobody else. These is my hills, my lands, my activities. Aye. We come a long, dark road to put this gun to your head, Bob.
Andy, we never tried to take anything away from you.
Aye. I made sure of that. I snuck up on each one of them in turn when they was alone and held them fast like so until they went. Aye, even big old George, your uncle, left as easy as a baby.
Middle. That doesn't explain what happened to Middle. Middle's dead.
Will you stop that confounded talk, man? That map's not but a doodad. You fool. There is nothing to fear here.
Andy, talk about something else, quick. It's important.
We're finished with talking. Finished you are with maps and pins black and white.
Talk about something else, I said. It's important right now. Talk about anything else. Now.
Why?
Because I caused you to kill those people. Andy, you better get this straight right now. You heard that lieutenant. It's possible for some people to have things inside them that make other things happen. Nothing is impossible for a man like that if he thinks about it hard enough. I know you, Andy. You're no killer. I made you do it.
You talked me into killing them? Then they could all be back.
Andy, I never knew it.
How'd you come for that? That noise. Can't you hear it?
Andy, stop. There's nobody.
They could all be back. They could all be back. Stop. Don't let them take me, sir. Give me only 5. Not the Andrex. Go away. Go away and leave me alone. Go away. Go. Save me, Bobby.
He's dead, Lieutenant.
All right, forget the normal procedure. Get him out of here. Exhibit A. You really didn't need it. They died of fright first, just like he did.
You're forgetting about those 7 trips to the mausoleum, Lieutenant. 7 bodies, 7 trips.
They helped.
Lieutenant, Jacob Middle died in France.
Well, that was a plant, Mr. Kraft. Middle's all right. Sorry we had to put you through this, but it was the best way to make McKee come out in the open.
Mrs. Middle stayed up all night at headquarters, waiting for us to call in.
Our radio car is posted just outside. We signaled her to phone you and tell you that lie about her husband. Am I getting through to you, Mr. Kraft?
Well, not quite yet.
We watched him, Bob. He actually managed to unearth all 7 of them. I wonder what got into him.
It was those white pens. It was. Annie, I've lost my overcoat.
Oh, where? Which one? I'll get it.
No, never mind. I think I can find it myself.
Well, we hope you have enjoyed this movie. Yeah. As much as we did, enjoyed showing it and walking around this beautiful cemetery.
We got trivia for them too, don't we?
Yeah, so there's a lot of trivia about this movie. So what's one thing that we learned about this?
When Mr. Boone is making phone calls or waiting on phone calls, if you see what he's got in his office, he's got a picture of John Wilkes Booth in there.
Yeah, on the wall behind him, if you go back and look, there's a picture of John Wilkes Booth. And so another fun fact is that the cemetery that the movie was filmed in was the Angelus Rosedale Cemetery in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Stephen King was actually inspired by this movie when he wrote the short story Obits.
Oh, that's in one of his collections of stories. That's cool.
Yes.
And then also the number that Bob dials for the police is 666.
Yep, and then that swinging light, the light that was hit. Is that the actual footage that they used in Psycho?
No. There was a similar scene. So they kind of took the idea from Psycho, which was filmed 3 years earlier, and they put a very similar scene in the movie. So if you look at that scene, it's shot and it's done very similar to Psycho.
So if you feel like you're having deja vu, like you've seen that swinging light before, you have.
I love Psycho though.
It is. It's such a good movie.
And yeah, this movie was really fun to show. I love cemetery-inspired movies, and I love when we have a chance to go to cemeteries. It's one of my favorite things. So it's always fun. We like hunting out the really cool-looking graves, having fun with some of the statues, and also finding like the famous people and the interesting stories that we can tell you about these people to kind of keep them alive and show you where they kind of came from and where their resting places.
Yep. So, got anything else for these guys? Oh yes, we're right here. You guys probably recognize this name too from Milwaukee, especially if you are a Bucks fan. Call it the Pfizer Forum now. Used to be the Bradley Center, wasn't it? Was it the Bradley Center before they tore that down and put the Pfizer Forum in there? So this is the family plot of the Pfizer family.
It looks like it says Pfister.
Yep. Pretty sure maybe.
Pfister.
I don't know. Is this Pfister? Maybe this is Pfister. Maybe it's not Pfizer. Oh no. Well, the Pfizers are buried here too, okay? And those are that was the architectural family. This may not be. Oh man. See?
My drain. I was at a house and the drain said Pfister on it.
Because the plumbers. That's why I think they were also architects. I'll have to look it up, but I know the Pfizers and the Pfisters. Pfister, Pfizer, Pfister, Forum.
I don't know who these people are, but the grave is really cool.
I'm better with faces than I am names. You know, like, okay, and tattoos, those are always the memorable thing for me too, which is much nicer about today's world. Because, your tattoo.
Yeah, so people who have seen me out and about when I cover up my purple hair usually recognize me by my piercings and my tattoos. Yep. Sometimes the voice too. I'm told I have a very recognizable voice.
It's the tattoos. That's
Yeah, you have that living dead girl. It's pretty distinctive.
It is, and yeah, I don't know. Did I tell you about this, Celeste? The clerk at a store that I stopped at, and I don't want to get specifics. I don't want this poor girl getting razzed. She recognized me, and it was flattering. I was actually very flattered, to be honest. In the moment, I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to take this. She went and got the tattoos that I have.
Oh, wow.
Permanently in the same spots too. And
interesting.
Endearing.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
It is. It was very cool, and I don't want to talk bad about it. I was flattered, but again, in the moment,
it startles
I don't
you a
know.
little bit. You're like, whoa,
it is startling. Like, whew. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really neat, though.
Yes.
That's very cool trivia.
And then when we got
Morgan.
recognized, up at Whitewater too. I mean, they always felt good too. So if you guys do see us out and about,
please say hi.
Yeah, please say hi to us.
We
enjoy
don't
it.
Bite that much.
No, but we do enjoy it. So
only when we're really hungry. So
yeah.
But yeah, we all love meeting people.
It wouldn't be nothing without you. I mean, that's
and if you're worried about COVID, just come up 6 feet and wave.
Yeah,
we're happy to say hi. Anyway, so thanks for joining us tonight on this wild adventure. We went on a beer tour. Harley and beer go well together. Then we had some visit with some fisters and
yep. Pfizer, maybe Pfizer. I think this is Fister because Pfizer's got a Z in it, doesn't it? It does have a. Sorry, Milwaukee and the Pfizer.
She may have had too much on the tour.
I didn't have anything on the tour. My brain's just broke. That's what it is. I need a vacation.
So we will see you again soon. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been wonderful, and always, Morgan. We will hex you soon.